Hello and thank you for joining us. You're watching Newsroom series here on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Today our focus is on the Southwest. But first, our top stories for the day. A former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has filed a fresh 10 billion naira suit against the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, over the alleged denial of access to his wife and son while in custody. The suit, filed by his lawyer, Ubong Akman, also lists the chairman of the ICPC and the Attorney General of the Federation as the second and third defendants. The originating motion was filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja on August 13th this year. Mr. El-Rufai is asking the court to declare that his fundamental rights under Part 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended remain valid and enforceable despite his detention by the Commission. According to the suit, the former governor alleges that the ICPC repeatedly prevented his wife, Mrs. Aishatu Asabe, and his son, Abba El-Rufai, from seeing him while he was in custody. He further alleged that ICPC officers physically restrained and intimidated his wife and son on July the 7th, describing the incident as an unlawful interference with his spousal and filial relationships. The former governor is asking the court to declare that the alleged treatment breached his constitutional rights to dignity of person, private and family life. He's also seeking the declaration that the continued denial of access to his family members without lawful authority is unconstitutional, illegal, null and void. The Osun governorship poll has come and gone, and as Governor Adeleke gets his second term in office, residents of the state are attempting to set the agenda for the new government. After voters witnessed a keenly contested election and the emergence of Governor Adeleke, there are areas of improvement they have identified with requests that government must do everything possible to bridge the noticeable gaps. Our correspondent, Bukola Oriwo, was in Osogbo, the state capital, and Ede Town to feel the pulse of the people on their expectations from the new government when it gets sworn in to office.
Basically, an economy, there should be improvements on economy because it is not really easy for many people in Osun State, even Nigeria as well. So we want them to just improve on what is going on now. They all know that many people are facing a lot of poverty in Nigeria, so we just try and improve on this economy.
The infrastructures can still be improved on. The health sector should be looked into, and the workers' welfare should also be paid attention to, so that there will be what I refer to as peaceful industrial relationship between the government and the workers in Osun.
Now, the areas in dire need of attention, according to residents, include education, health, employment creation, and infrastructure in other towns apart from the state capital.
Security of schools. Education is very, very important. Then, in terms of education, quality teachers. Quality teachers. The education sector is, they have a shortage of staff. Presently, government knows what they have. Perhaps they couldn't afford to get more. That is one. But they should look into it.
They should make sure that the roads, especially Elisha roads, Ikehun roads, so many other roads like that. So they should try as much as possible to do something about it. So I think that is just the major things in the states.
Former President Obasanjo has congratulated the re-elected governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke. Chief Obasanjo paid a surprise visit to Governor Adeleke at his country home in Ede, where he was welcomed by spirited dancing and the songs of praise by the governor. The former president prayed for further successes of the governor and urged him to continue on the path of good governance and the delivery of dividends of democracy. Governor Adeleke, who was surprised at the ex-president's visit, expressed his gratitude to God and the people and promised to continue to be a loyal servant of Osun State moving forward. Moving away from the Osun governorship election now, the Methodist Church Nigeria has called on the federal government to take more decisive measures to tackle worsening insecurity, economic hardship, unemployment, corruption, and declining living standards, warning that increased government revenues and allocations are yet to translate into meaningful improvements in the welfare of Nigerians. The church also throws its weight behind the establishment of state police, describing it as a necessary component of comprehensive security reform capable of strengthening grassroots intelligence gathering and enabling faster responses to emerging security threats across the country. These positions were contained in a communique issued at the end of the 15th Biennial Conference of the Methodist Church Nigeria in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. While the church acknowledges reform efforts by the government in some key sectors, it identifies corruption, impunity, and mismanagement of public resources as major impediments to national development, stressing that the country's economic difficulties require stronger accountability and leadership focused on the welfare of citizens. Nevertheless, the conference declares that despite Nigeria's present challenges, God's promise remains sure, as it calls on Nigerians not to surrender to fear or despair, but to remain steadfast in faith, uphold righteousness, pursue justice, and work together for the peace and progress of the nation. Workers of various trade unions in Lagos State under the aegis of Working People United has inaugurated a support group for President Bola Tinubu and Mr. Quadri Hamzat ahead of the 2027 general elections. The inauguration held at the Blue Roof Agidingbi, Ikeja, attracted a large number of workers from the formal and informal sectors, including members of transport unions, Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, and other registered trade unions in Lagos State. Speaking at the event, the National Coordinator General of Working People United, Mr. Akbora Williams, and other speakers said President Tinubu had laid a strong foundation for Nigeria's development and says they're optimistic about the country's future under his continued leadership.
We are committing to work mobilizing working people in Lagos. That we unite working people across all sectors in Lagos, ensuring that every voice is heard, and every concern is addressed, and every working person in Lagos is mobilized. Two, to promote the renewed hope agenda, we will take our people on the policies and reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and support for his post-war vision. This was the election of Honorable Ogun Hamzat and other progressive candidates standing election in Lagos. Our third purpose of being here today is to encourage civic participation. That we will register new members and build a culture of responsible citizenship.
We have seen the good work that President Tinubu is doing. And when we first came in, he removed subsidy. All of us were angry without knowing the reason why it was removed. And for every change, there must be a sacrifice. And we are beginning to see the prospects of the sacrifice. We are beginning to see a working Nigeria. And that's the more reason we felt, as workers we felt that there is need for us to protect our Jerusalem. That's the more reason we are coming out hopefully to identify with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to continue his, what I would call a progressive change in Nigeria.
In reducing queues of cancer patients who need care at specialist hospitals, A new oncology specialist hub has been flagged off for construction to manage cancer patients. The project, which was flagged off in General Hospital Bagada by the Olowo-Kere Support Group, is designed to complement the Lagos State government's efforts in providing quality healthcare services for cancer patients. The chairman of the Lagos State Health Service Commission, Dr. Olukayode Ugutime, encouraged other concerned citizens to join hands with government in building more medical facilities for the people.
Cancer is a disease where changes in genes cause abnormal cells to multiply without control. These cells form solid lumps called tumors or flood the blood and lymph systems. Nigeria records an estimated 127,000 new cancer cases and roughly 79,000 cancer deaths annually, with breast cancer the most common and deadly cancer for women, while prostate cancer leads among men. According to a 2022 report by the Global Cancer Observatory, Nigeria recorded 269,109 cases of cancer within 5 years, with the number of deaths estimated to be 127,763.
Today, a round of applause.
As part of efforts to address this critical health challenge, the Lagos State Ministry of Health is partnering with the Remi and Lara Olowo-Kere Foundation to construct an oncology support and advocacy unit at the Bagada General Hospital.
I want to say thank you to the family. Yes, they are commissioning this as a gynae cancer hub. However, we want to say that I look forward to a day when it become a fully equipped standard oncoradiotherapy center where both medications and radiotherapy are available.
The project was initiated by the Olowo-Kere family to celebrate Lara Olowo-Kere's posthumous 70th birthday. The initiative marks a major step in the fight against cancer by providing specialized oncology and gynecology support for patients across Lagos State.
I proudly say that the loss represents our commitment to building something that will have a lasting impact in healthcare in Nigeria, particularly in fighting against cancer.
The only reason why I'm an oncologist is because I wanted to contribute to the story of cancer care. So when families go through pain and then they turn around and convert that pain to purpose, we must honor them. The groundbreaking of the Lara Olowo-Kere Specialist Hub, LOSH. It is a dedicated space for supportive cancer care and advocacy designed to deeply impact lives.
For healthcare specialists, the facility represents a great opportunity for Nigerians to go for regular health checks to know their status.
I've nursed rich and poor, people that can afford and they cannot. I've nursed them. So please, let's take care of ourselves. Early presentation saves lives.
With the planned hub expected to bring specialized services closer to patients, stakeholders believe the initiative can help reduce the burden of cancer and give more Nigerians access to timely and quality treatment.
Welcome back. After the break on Newsroom series, Lagos State Government holds the 13th Other Hubs Summit. Details after this. Join us again. Welcome back. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has called for stronger collaboration among government, security agencies, communities, and residents to ensure the safety of lives and property across the state. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who is represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Bimbola Salihundeyin, at the 13th Summit of the Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, said retirement from public office does not amount to retirement from service to society, stressing that the state continues to benefit from the experience, wisdom, and institutional memory of retired senior public servants.
Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries converge on Ademi Bell Hall, Alausa, Ikeja for the 13th Annual Summit of the Association. The event brings together an array of distinguished stakeholders, including current and former public office holders, security experts, policymakers, to deliberate on issues centered around security, safety of property, and creating a new norm in Lagos.
The Association of Current Service and Secretaries is joining all to appeal to government at all levels, our communities, including institutions, to create avenues for strengthening greater investment in surveillance technology.
The head of service for Lagos commends the association for sustaining its annual summit as a platform for intellectual discourse, policy engagement, and the exchange of ideas on issues critical to effective governance and national development.
The theme of this year's summit is sanctity of life and safety of property, creating a new norm in Lagos State. It is both timely and competitive. The protection of life and property remains foremost responsibility of every government.
A lawmaker from the Lagos State House of Assembly lends his voice on the issues discussed, saying security is everyone's business and the Constitution must be adhered to.
The challenge before Lagos State today is not whether governments will involve communities in security, but the more important question is how do we organize community participation in security in a manner that is lawful, coordinated, professional, accountable, and effective.
For the Commissioner of Police, community leaders, parents and other stakeholders must work with the security agencies to ensure that Lagos remains safe.
Societies are very necessary and vital to security of every community.
The secretary to the state government, who is speaking on behalf of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, says the state government will continue to strengthen the security architecture of the state to improve security.
Security is not achieved by government and security agencies alone. Creating a new security norm therefore requires a culture of shared responsibility.
The government is calling for a culture of shared responsibility among residents and stakeholders, assuring that it will continue to invest in technology, intelligence gathering, and interagency collaboration to improve security in Lagos State.
Traditional rulers across Ogun State must use their influence at the grassroots to mobilize their subjects for peaceful and informed participation in the 2027 general elections. Governor Dapo Abiodun gave the charge in Abeokuta during the inauguration of the Adeleke and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Aremu as the new chairman of the Ogun State Council of Obas at the ceremony, which was held at the Obas complex in Osun in the state capital.
The inauguration of new chairman of the Ogun State Council of Obas, which is done on a rotational basis every 2 years among the paramount rulers within the state's 4 divisions of Egba, Ijebu, Remo, and Yewa, attracts other traditional rulers, community leaders, and members of the State Executive Council. Governor Dapo Abiodun, who presides over the event, urges the monarchs to leverage their reach and moral authority to ensure the peaceful conduct and active political participation in the next general election.
Beyond security, I call upon our fathers to continue mobilizing our people toward responsible civic participation, particularly as we enter another electoral season. Our people to recognize and support the government's rights of the government, and when the time comes, translate their position into their democratic choices and polls.
The governor also commends the royal fathers for their support, particularly in the area of security of lives and property, through renewed intelligence gathering at the community level.
Security begins long before a plan is submitted. In the community that knows its people, recognizing unusual movements and possessing the courage to speak when something is wrong,
In his remarks, the new chairman of the Council of Obas, the paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Aremu Gbadebo, commends the administration's developmental strides across the state and pledges to continue to foster unity among traditional rulers.
Distinguished ruler fathers, the strength of this council lies in our unity. Let us remain steadfast in our commitment to one another. Let us rise above differences, embrace dialogue, and foster mutual respect. These signs of rapidity, relevance to traditional institutions must not be questioned if not be demonstrated.
As the new leadership of the Council of Obas takes office, both the government and traditional rulers say unity and grassroots mobilization will be very key to Ogun State's stability and development.
Still in Ogun State, members of the Fusengboa ruling house in Ijebu-Ode have passed a vote of confidence in the leadership of Lateef Oyemi and Professor Fasi Yusuf amid ongoing efforts to produce the next Awujale of Ijebuland. At the press conference in Ijebu-Ode, the chairman, vice chairman and other members of the ruling house urged the general public to be wary of the activities of a splinter group within the family. They alleged that the group is bent on scuttling the progress made so far toward producing the next Awujale from the Fusengboa ruling house. The leaders also called on residents and stakeholders in the town to disregard the splinter group, warning that its actions could have a devastating effect on the family and disrupt the Awujale's rightful claim, or the house's rightful claim rather, to the Awujale throne.
Investigated the activities of these charlatans, and we are convinced that they are
The Nigeria Customs Service Semi-Area Command has recorded a major breakthrough in its anti-smuggling operations with the interception of explosives, toxic noodles, amongst other prohibited items. Speaking on this development and the command's revenue hike from what was recorded in the preceding year at the command headquarters, Seme-Boda, the Comptroller, Abdullahi Kaila, explained that Seme is no longer a safe corridor for economic sabotage.
Seme Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Transnational Border points sharing border with the Republic of Benin from the Lagos end. Lined up within the command are cartons of toxic noodles, expired and banned drugs, explosives, smuggled rice and cannabis amongst other items.
Officers of the Seme Area Command,
The Customs Area Controller, Comptroller Abdullahi Kaila, explains that the breakthrough followed credible intelligence and sustained surveillance.
acting on intelligence and sustained surveillance, our officers subjected the consignment to thorough examination and uncovered 1,306 sacks of expired and waste noodles, each weighing 50 kilograms. The intention was to package, relabel, and introduce these products into Nigerian markets for unsuspecting consumers. Had this shipment succeeded, countless families would have been exposed to serious health hazards, ranging from food poisoning and gastrointestinal disease to other life-threatening medical complications.
The Comptroller stresses that over 19 billion naira was generated as revenue between January and July 2026, representing a 24.45% increase within just 7 months.
Our revenue performance in 2026 has been even more remarkable. Between January and July 2026, the command generated 19 billion 840 280 788 naira 50 kobo. This means that within only 7 months, the command has passed its entire 12 months revenue collection for 2025.
He then hands over the seized illicit substances to the officials of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, while NAFDAC officials take over seized drugs for further investigation as the command continues to support federal government economic reforms, after trade and border security.
And with that, we draw the curtain on today's edition of Newsroom Series. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun.